Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1665 AN. Today's date is September 16th, 2018, and the title of the episode is, It Might Happen All at Once, All Sides Scrambling. Now, before I get started, I just want to make an announcement. I uploaded a new interview with Charlie Robinson. It is on the X22 Report Spotlight YouTube channel. So all you need to do is go over to YouTube, type in X22 Report Spotlight. It will bring you right to that interview. Or you can come over to the X22Report.com site or NewsCentral.com site. Scroll down a little bit, look over to your right-hand side. You can play the interview right on the site. Or you can go to Steemit, that is steemit.com/@X22Report, and you can play the interview right on Steemit. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, we are coming to a point where everything might happen at once. We understand that there's really big news that's going to drop. Now, everything's not going to drop at once. They're going to do it in different stages to see how the public reacts. They want to see how the stock market reacts. They want to see how everything is going before the Moab is dropped. And we need to understand that the Patriots, they have protected themselves by pumping up the economy like we've never seen before with statistical numbers, making it look incredible. And if news drops that brings the market down, brings the economy down, and brings everything down, they have a narrative. They can say, listen, we brought the economy up because of what these people have done in the past. The economy is now coming down. Now, when I say everything can happen at once, we're going to see news and the economy all come down at the same time. We see the central bankers, they're still pushing the idea that people have funds that they can tap. Now remember, the central banks, they run on debt. Their business is debt. The more debt there is, the better they do. If people aren't in debt, they don't like this. They need more debt. And if there's equity in homes, and remember, they pump the bubbles up quite a bit, they want you to take that out and go spend it. Because what happens? Well, if you take an equity line of credit or you refinance and you pull that money out, you're in more debt. This is what they like. And they're saying that since the real estate market has gone up, it's time to tap that debt. And most of the Americans out there today are very leery about this. And we can see refinance applications, they're declining, because interest rates are moving up and they don't want to touch it. They remember what happened back in 2008. And it looks like many people don't want to get caught in that same type of scenario. But we know the real estate market has reached that point where people are selling because they realize the market's going to be coming down. What's very interesting is Mnuchin, who is the Treasury Secretary, he decided to sell his $33 million apartment, which is on Park Avenue. Now, his apartment right now is 3 times of what he paid for it, and he's putting it up for sale. And you have to think to yourself, why is he doing this? Why now? Why choose now? Because we're starting to see housing prices drop in many areas. If we look at different areas around the country, we can see that prices are starting to come down. This tells me that he understands that the real estate market's going to be coming down and he needs to unload this now and cash in. And many individuals, the wealthy, they realize this. This is not just with real estate, but with the stock market, any other type of investments. Once they know they're very close to the top, they know that this is the time. And we can see at this point, this is what is happening right now. The big players are getting out because they know what's coming. They need to offload this. Because once the real estate market drops, he's not going to be making 3 times on his apartment when the market drops. He's going to lose money when the market drops. And this is why he wants to get out right now. We see many different financial pundits. They're all pointing to the same thing. When the Fed is raising their rates, and they're all giving different examples of when they think it's going to come down. And most of them are around 3%. Some are 2.7%, 2.8%. When the interest rates hit that area, they're saying things are going to fall apart like we've never seen before. We see Barry Bannister became the latest to issue a timeline on how many more rate hikes the Fed can push through before the market is finally impacted. Now, according to his calculations, just 2 more rate hikes will put the central bank above the neutral rate, the interest rate that neither stimulates nor holds back the economy. The Fed's long-term projection of its policy rate has risen from 2.8 at the end of 2017 to 2.9 in June. And we can see that many other financial banks and pundits are saying the same thing. Deutsche Bank, Bank of America, they're all looking at this, looking back in time, looking at history, and seeing that, yes, there is a certain point in time when the interest rates move up and the economy completely falls apart and everything comes crashing down. And we can see this is exactly what's happening. We're going to reach that point. And a lot of these financial institutions, the financial pundits, are saying that this is going to happen in 2019. And most likely, we will be in a recession and the whole system will start to fall apart. Now, remember, the news is going to be coming out very, very soon. And when I talk about the news, I'm talking about what they found with FISA and things like that. The first part of the phase is going to get the public used to all of this. So they're going to drop it a little bit at a time. And we'll go into this in the next report. And Q actually confirms that they're not going to drop everything at once. They're going to be dropping this in stages to get the public used to the idea of government being corrupt. Because remember, a lot of people think the government people like Obama, Clinton, and the rest, they were not corrupt. Many people, who are looking at it from a different angle believe they are, but they're not used to the idea of this. And once this news comes out, and remember, they're everyday Americans like you and me, they have investments, they own a house, they invest in the market maybe, and what's going to happen is people are going to get nervous. They're going to realize what is happening here. They might reject it in the beginning and nothing might happen. But as time goes on and more of this comes out, people are going to start to realize what is going on here. People are going to look for the truth. They're going to research the truth, and they're going to start to say, okay, now I've been researching this, and I'm also researching the economy, and I'm starting to believe that the economy is a lie also. Because again, one thing leads into another. And once more and more people hear and research and become awoken to all of this, they're going to start to realize something is wrong here. And this is when people are going to get a little nervous. They're going to be pissed off, and they might even start doing stuff with their investments because they realize what's going on here. And I think this is why it's going to be done in stages to get people used to the idea. And most likely, we know that the central bank and the deep state and the rest, we know they're preparing something else on the other side. But when this news does come out, what's going to happen is this economy is going to start to shake and shatter. And we're going to see things really start to accelerate. Remember, what they've done was they built this economy on a gigantic illusion. They built it on statistical numbers where they can change anything they want to make it make the economy look any way they want. Once that starts to fall apart, that's when people start to see the real economy. And that is what is coming. And this is why everyone needs to be ready and prepared, because it's not going to seem like much is happening. But in the background, when this news continually comes out, when the Fed continually raises its rates, all of this is going to build and build and build, and all of a sudden the economy is just going to implode. Because what are people going to do? They're going to lose faith. And when you lose faith, and I'm not just talking about the people in the country, I'm talking about people around the world. Remember, when you're hearing all of this, it's not just here in the U.S. It's everywhere. Everyone will be hearing this one way or another. Yes, maybe the mainstream media will try to cover it up, but one way or another, through alternative media, they will hear about this, and countries will start to lose faith. They'll start to say, and question, wait a minute, if this is happening here, well, maybe it's also happening in the economy. Maybe it's also happening in the markets. Maybe it's also happening with the dollar. Maybe it's also happening everywhere. And this is what's going to happen. And it will lead right back to the central bank because everyone's going to start connecting dots. And this is when the entire system will fall apart. Now remember, the Patriots, what they're trying to do is they're trying to move that finger pointing away from them and put it back on the central bank, back on the deep state. And we can see that from everything that they've been doing, it looks like it's going to work. It looks like they are moving the finger and it's pointing at the central bank. And especially when they continually raise their rates, and we'll see in September, coming up very soon, it looks like they're getting ready to raise it one more time. And if they do, we are totally on track for all of this. And with the news coming out, well, the economy is completely covered with what Trump has done. He's built the economy. It's doing fantastically. The deep state, the central bankers can't blame it on him because there's so much that's going to come out that's going to mask all of that. And this was done on purpose. So we will be going through this transition. Everyone needs to be prepared and ready. And it's not just going to affect those people that are corrupt. It's going to affect everyone in the country. So get prepared. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.